So I got back today and I'm gonna start off with deadlifting. Now, some might say the risk to reward ratio is not worth it, and I agree, it's not worth it. I just enjoy lifting heavy weight some days, so let's see how heavy we can get to today. And I start by doing some light stretches, but mainly I actually enjoy stretching through the movement and just load up really lightweight, because a lot of the time I don't actually have a lot of time in the gym, so stretching for 15 minutes is not feasible for me, so I have to make the most out of it. But if you got time, definitely do it. Just make sure you don't get hurt. In terms of working set today, I'm probably gonna do 6 or 7 sets of deadlifting. The reason for that is I tend to do pyramid style training, which start off really light with a lot of reps, typically around, I would say 16, and then I'll drop to like 12, 10, 8, 4, and sometimes even 2. And then I'll climb back up the rep range while dropping the weight, so I can get both really my strength and also enough repetition to build muscle. Plus I enjoy lifting heavy stuff, but then I also want to make sure that I'm getting the most in terms of actually working the muscle through repetition. So yeah, my rep range stay between either 2 to 30 on my compound movement. Just depend on how I feel for the day. We'll see how I feel today. But I'm actually gonna skip through this step. This is gonna be my first warm-up set. Second exercise. So this is probably gonna be the only 2 compound I'm doing today is T-bar rows and deadlifting. So the weight and repetition concept stay pretty much the same as the deadlifting exercise. I'll start with low weight, and then I'll creep up the weight and then go to the max that I can go for the days for a few reps, and then drop back down. So again, 6 or 7 sets. For this one, I'm warmed up already, so I don't need a lot of rest on it. The thing I like about this exercise is it's really working on the thickness of my back, and usually if my legs are warm up already, I can go a lot heavier, because you do have to hold yourself up and balance yourself. And that's another thing too, is I love deadlifting because it's one of those exercises where you kind of do have to use your whole body, just because if your deadlift is strong, chances are your legs are strong too, because you're using your leg to rip that weight off the ground. Anyway, I'm probably gonna rest for another 30 seconds, then go again. 30 seconds is up, and we're gonna go again. I think I can go a little bit higher. I think that was my 3rd set, so I can probably go to 6 plate today. And then that's gonna be, that would be my, gosh, I don't remember, 4th, 5th set. And then my 6th set, I'm just gonna come back down, just rep it out and really get that squeeze. You know what, I probably should use my belt, because the reason why sometimes I don't use my belt in deadlifting is because I try to keep my core really strong. And as long as you have a strong core and tighten your back, you're not gonna get injured very easily. It's when I loosen my core, that's when I like mess myself up on my lower back the next day or the day after, or even in the same workout. So on movement like this, where I have to keep my back tight, especially the more you do in weight and rep, your core tend to go up rather quickly. And so, I mean, it's not bad to use the extra support, right? Oh, that's a little bit heavy. I'm gonna go to 6 plate, and that's gonna be the heaviest I can do with decent form and a couple of reps before I drop half of it down, and then do it till failure. That's how compound movement typically goes for me. I'll try to lift as heavy as I can, but then there's always that reserve in your tank that you gotta empty out with lower weight. So can't leave anything on the table. I don't think I would talk that much in a workout. Besides, when I was working with my close friends, we would talk a lot more. But we still work though. See if I can get at least 4 of these. Picking it up is always a pain. No, that was terrible form. I'm gonna go down. I don't feel bad about it. One, my form was terrible. 2, my grip is shot. All right, on this last one, I'm really going to squeeze it out. Sometimes I'll do pause rep, sometimes I'll just take it slow. My endurance is crap. Yeah, that's the downside of taking kind of almost a whole month off, is your strength and endurance, it's not the same. The best part though is my back pump feels really good because it hasn't seen blood in weeks. All right, I'm gonna unload this and then I'm gonna go and start doing accessories because I'm done with all the heavy compound movement for the day. Typically, I will actually do 3 compound, but because of my strength level and endurance for this workout, wouldn't be value added because I wouldn't be able to get a lot of weight, and compound, it's all about getting that heavy weight in along with repetition. All right, third exercise. Basically, I'm gonna do probably 4 or 5 sets of these. Same concept, start with low weight, go as heavy as I can, then drop the weight for some reps. So the reason why I typically stand on these is because for my build, for some reason it's very weird for me to sit even with the seat up to do this. I just feel like put a lot of stress more on my shoulder than it does for me to focus on contracting my back. In this form, I actually am able to contract my back a little bit more, especially my lat, and also try to get to the middle of my back. Obviously, it's not the best exercise for that middle back, but I get a lot more better contraction with these than sitting. Plus, I can go up a little bit higher with this. I forgot how many that was, but I'll do 2 more. That I typically focus more on the contraction more than the actual strength of it. For some reason, my left has more endurance than my right, but my right side is stronger because I'm a righty. But I think it's because in the past 12 years, knowing that my left is not my strong point, I overcompensate for it by working my left more sometimes. Even if it means doing 1 or 2 more reps on my left. And trust me, it adds up over the years. All right, that was my second set. So by now, my back is pretty pumped up already. So I'm only gonna do 8 of these and then I'll drop back down, even though it's my 3rd set. But I really want to get a lot more rep in on the lower weight. I, for some reason, like these the most, just because I can be a bit lazy in terms of keeping my core really tight after all that deadlifting and T-bar row. I can drop back down to 3 plate and start hitting like 14 to 16 reps at it instead, and really get that contraction and working my back. I'll give it a couple of seconds so I can catch up my breath. But as I mentioned before, I typically go pretty fast. Even when I'm like dying from the previous set, as long as I can catch my breath, I'm going again. Everyone has a different training style, but this is what I find working the most. The moment that my heart rate goes down to normal, I feel like I'm done for the day. Again, you can do 2 arms at a time and put your chest against the support. They work, they still work your back thickness. I just prefer this better, that's all. But I feel like it someday, like for example after leg days, if my legs are too tired for me to hold myself up, I'll just sit here because it's more comfortable. But then I'll go a little bit lighter too. So, not saying not to do it. You just gotta do what's best for you, your body, and how you feel that day. Even that feels a little bit heavy. It might look like I'm swinging, but at the end of the motion, there's a tight squeeze that I typically do to make sure that I'm getting most out of that movement. So this is my last set for this, and I'm just gonna rush through this because it is a little bit light. But keep in mind, I'm just squeezing. Even though it's light, my bicep is actually getting sore just from this. So this is my 4th exercise for the night. I'm gonna do 4 sets of these, actually 5. I already did 1, so I'll go heavy as I can today. But the thing I like about this exercise is it builds some thick lat. The first thing that gives out on these are typically my grips, which I'm trying to work on it. But some people will do close leg, some people will do, you know, on the bench. Doesn't matter, just do what feels comfortable for you. The end goal is to ensure that you bring your elbow as close as possible and squeeze your back. And for some reason I'm getting lightheaded from looking down doing this exercise. So because my grips are giving out, I'm actually going to go up, but also using strap, because I really want to feel that weight pulling you down, and I don't mind sacrificing some form. I'm not the perfect form, guys. I tend to give it up a little bit, as long as it doesn't compromise, you know, the risk of injury. If it makes sense, I'll give up some of it just so I can pull heavier weight, because I know I'm gonna get the rep in and also get that squeeze in, because I intend on dropping down anyway. Can't be too strict all the time. Sometimes you just gotta say screw it and actually do it. You know, when I keep my form strict is not all the time, but 90% of the time is on the day that I feel low energy and I don't want to push myself. I'll just make excuse like I'm gonna keep a perfect form and do more reps. But no, in my head I know deep down it's because I'm being a little, you know, these are not very straining on your energy level, which is why you see me going through it pretty quickly, because all it is it's raising my heart rate up. But once you control your breathing, I like to just go again. There's no point in waiting. I'm not pulling 300 pounds. It's just dumbbell. I shouldn't say that, because when you do lunges on leg days, those dumbbells are heavy as shit. Alright, let's see if I can keep a somewhat decent form. I was gonna go for 125, but because it's high up there and I'm short, I'm not gonna waste my energy trying to lift it from up there. So I'll go to 135 instead. See, just gotta know where to spend your energy. Oh, this sucks. I could have gone for more, but I would swing it too much, so I'll just keep it at that. I told you I would give up some form just for this, because I do intend to go back to a better form at the end of my sets. Yeah, I'm going back down. I just need a second to catch my breath. On normal days, I'll probably go to 150, but I noticed I was already swinging at 135, so I'm not gonna do that today. But instead, I'm just going to grab an 80 and just get a stricter form out of it. Put a little bit more rep. It's actually not my lat that's giving out on me, but my lower back. Jesus. Anytime it starts to give out, I just need to keep my core tight. But I can't keep it tight right now because my heart rate is up pretty high. But we're not stopping. The only one thing I hate about belt is it's hard to breathe. Sometimes it does more damage to my workout than good, but I know it's gonna protect me from lower back strain. So I use it sparingly. Anyway, I'm done with this, so moving on to my fifth and final exercise for back. Last back workout. You can do this with the bench or however you want to do it, but basically it's just lat pull. I don't even know what to call it, to be honest, but I like to do it standing up, especially since I don't have to move any benches. But what I'm doing is basically stretching my lat and then contracting it, get my elbow as close to my thigh as possible. For this one, I won't go too heavy. I'll just keep it right at around 16 reps. It is a little bit light, so I'll probably go up on the next set. Because that was a light set, I'm going to do a few pull-ups to make up for it. I'm gonna get this over with. Just make sure your legs are planted. If you intend to do this, your stance might be different than mine because your body composition might be different. As long as you're using your lat to pull, you should be okay. Normally, I'll do some bicep at the end of my back day, but I think it's getting late and I have my shoulder workout in 2 days anyway, so I'll add on my arm to my shoulder instead of doing it with my back today. I feel like it's pretty good for just coming back. I want to talk a little bit about posing. If you're able, trust me, pose after every workout. It helps build your physique flow, because when I was practicing men physique posing, my body was shaped a little bit different. So obviously you can't change the flow of your body that drastically, but trust me, posing does help improve that flow a little bit more depending on how you want to look. So just try to pose as much as you can. If I could, honestly, I would do it after every other set, but I'm not gonna do that because the gym is always packed and I don't feel too comfortable doing it, which is why I'll do it at the end of my workout for like 5-10 minutes when there's nobody around. Lastly, just stick to the basic. As you can see, my workout is pretty basic. Just 2 or 3 compound movement and then some accessory just to shape out the muscle a little bit. Again, I'll do both heavy and light and try to hit as many reps as I can on both of those weights because I do want to stay strong, but I also don't want to neglect my form too much to the point where I'm not actually building muscle because I want to stay strong and have a good body too.